And I am back, and we are sort of live again. I have to apologize. What ended up happening was entirely my fault, and I should have been checking what was going on with my power supply. And that is entirely my fault, and I'm totally sorry about that.
Hello.
You will
Yeah.
have to put the link in the old
Hang on.
part 1 because we told them we would, and we can't because not admin.
Yes, well, when
Right.
Boo boo.
There we go. Control room.
Boo boo.
There we go.
Oopsie.
yes, so we are back streaming live and all that happy stuff. And again, my terrible apologies for the whole damn thing. So, short version. Apparently, there is a thing right now with my power supply that if it trips for whatever reason, it has a really hard time saying, "Okay, we're back on the mains. I'll go ahead and start powering up again." Freaking annoying. Anyway, did you send over the link over to Bridget?
We kind of lost her somewhere along the way, so I haven't seen her.
Are we playing Dodge the Troll?
Yeah.
No, we are not.
Not
Playing Dodge the
intentionally, at the
Troll.
very least.
But suggestion, Shujin.
Yes.
And any of us that might be in the chat, if you make us moderators, then we could probably post links. I think that's why we can't post links. It's just a suggestion. And we could also bounce trolls if you did that.
Oh, well, Dallin already is.
Okay.
I actually wouldn't want to bounce Timothy Love just so that people can actually see.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, like, if so, in the podcast I was on with Atheist Ranger and Bionic Dance, there was somebody like saying stuff that was against. Yeah.
I mean, there's trolls that use bad arguments and they use fallacies and things like that. And you know what? You're going to find those everywhere you go. The other ones, the ones that we should be bouncing, are like the ones that are the ones who would be like, yeah, they're saying a particular group is no good because of genetics. It's like, the Third Reich went like that way back in time, so you can go join them.
The one in Rangers show was actually posting stuff that was against terms of service. So
yeah, that's a good bouncing person, right?
Nuked. So Dallin, if you post in the chat, do you have a spanner?
Hold on.
Spanner.
Yeah, it's like the little blue spanner of Awa.
Let me take a look.
Yeah, and if you guys are in the,
We got Stephanie back.
yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I do have a spanner actually.
Okay, so that means you've got mod control, but I don't.
What's a spanner look like?
It's a wrench.
Ah, I know what a wrench is.
Let's see. I can go to channel report, remove
moderator.
user, timeout, and hide user on this channel. Oh,
Spanner is
You
an
got
adjustable
Awa.
wrench in England.
There we go. So that's now set up for the two of you.
Yay! Now I have a spanner. Sweet.
There you go. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Not for me.
I don't want it.
You're not here often enough.
Who, me or Joe?
Oh, finally.
In any case, no, I will make sure that as you guys end up posting in the chat, I'll make sure that you guys end up having that control and that power, because I mean it's stupid otherwise. So
Where were we? Canada, eh?
yeah. And again, that was technology, man. Every once in a while, stupid things like this happen. Sorry.
I have been like, I've ran my intro to the show, and instead of clicking the button to segue from the intro to my face, I clicked stop broadcast. So the whole broadcast was the intro and nothing else. And that was fun, let me tell you.
Yeah, didn't we do like a 40-minute recording session and we ended up with like 2?
Yes.
Yeah. that's a whole other thing. Sorry about that, Stephanie. Welcome back. So,
And no, Stephanie, we weren't trying to lose him. This was actually technical difficulties.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So sorry about that.
Through what, 4 hangouts since we were on last?
Don't even.
Not his fault. Not his fault. It's just
No, it partly was because I panicked and I need to not do that. So
okay.
Yeah, it's like the front of the book. Don't panic.
Stephanie said it. She knows, but it was funny that we lost her.
yeah,
Don't forget, we're on Earth, and Earth is mostly harmless.
yeah, no. Considering that the ocean wants to swallow you whole, yeah.
And
So
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, man. Come on.
yeah, they're wrong. What?
There's this movie I remember, the scene where these two people were in a dangerous situation, and the one guy says to the other, he goes, "We're in danger of death, and you look totally calm, not at all panicked." And the other guy answered him, "Oh, would it help?"
I think the best one along that. I think the best one for that was a guy who was a bomb diffuser. Look, if I do it wrong, it's not my problem anymore.
He's not wrong.
No,
He's not wrong with that logic.
My favorite is a T-shirt that says, I'm this bomb disposal. If you see me running, try to keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was reminiscing with Dallin in between, jumping around about things like the log driver's waltz. And
Yes.
Twitter. You remember that, Joseph?
No.
You don't remember the log driver's waltz?
You can probably find it on YouTube nowadays.
It's there.
He
It's
might
there.
be trying to block it out.
Yeah.
It's totally there.
And then there's the
well, my OCD is gonna make
So how does
me
this relate
Google
to
it
health
later.
insurance?
I don't know.
quite simple. Have you ever seen how an old fashioned log driver works? You wonder how the hell they can have health insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rate of the
Yeah, these guys tech they treat logs like surfboards. Okay.
Yep.
so
That does bring back to the troll was actually insulting my income over the whole statement about
That was
lumberjacks, and it's like, no, actually, I'm pretty sure I make more money than most lumberjacks right now. I know the job that I do, the clearances that I have, and everything else.
Do you know how much a lumberjack makes?
Well, thanks to Google, I have a roundabout idea. And considering that I do have an absolute idea of how much I make, pretty okay.
Well, and the cool thing is now we can talk about the troll because he's not there getting attention from it.
and you know what? We're not even going to have to worry about it because I kind of figured what one of the last things that we should really end up talking about is, and it's not going to sound like it's going to make a lot of sense at first.
Okay.
Comedy. Comedy.
Okay.
There is a story where, follow me on this a second. Jack Benny came to from California to New York City. He was going to be doing a couple of gigs out that way, and he told the people that were involved with the show that they were going to do, "You do not play down to the audience. You do not dumb it down. If you do, I will leave." He very, very, very much wanted to make sure that there was never a time where they were trying to lowball the comedy to try to get the greatest number of people. Always be on the level. And there is one thing that I have really enjoyed about Canadian comedy. Yeah, there is what would appear to be trying to grab the lowest common denominator, if you will, with, for instance, Red Green, if you were to just take it out of context and look at it. But you realize once you've seen it for a while, this is not in any way lowball humor. This is somebody who knows very much how to satirize, how to double talk, how to quip, and how to write it so that it is too much of the stereotypes not to be satire. And then you take it to some of the other extremes. Rick Mercer, who is absolutely deliciously scathing when it comes to people who don't know what the hell that they're doing and don't care. And he will just claw them to shreds, and they don't even realize it. And
Yeah,
he is the jester to society that richly deserves it.
Oh, he is so brutal to telemarketers. Oh,
See now,
it's
yeah.
it's blissful.
If we want to go classic Canadian humor, though, gotta love SCTV.
Yes.
That was the shit. And of course, our guys, Bob and Doug McKenzie. You don't get much more Canuck than those two.
Well, you know how that show started is that it was because of the Canadian, I don't know what they call it, but the Canadian Television Board. They got after them because all of their content was too America oriented, and they needed Canadian content.
Yeah. Well, and the best part too is that originally the show The Great White North on SCTV was originally called Canadian Corner, both spelled with a K. That tweaked the whole anti-Soviet thing so much they had to rename it. And for the longest time, they'd be like, "Okay, good day, and welcome to the Great White North, formerly known as Canadian Corner." Eh?
Yep.
That they literally did the formerly known as Canadian Corner, like just to continuously stick it.
Oh, totally.
Like it was subversive as hell.
They were fabulous.
They were, and you know what? I introduced a few American people to the movie Strange Brew, and how they're still my friends, I don't know.
Now, did you know, Dal? I'm sure, Dallin, you probably know.
Mm-hmm.
But Strange Brew is Hamlet. You did not know that Strange Brew is Hamlet?
I don't know about you. It's been so long since I've seen it, I don't even remember.
I'm going to have to go back and take a look at that.
When I was in high school, English, I think it was grade 12, one of my classmates did his English presentation on the fact that Strange Brew is Hamlet.
Wow.
We got to watch Strange Brew in class, and it is absolutely Hamlet to a T.
I'm going to have to check that out. I'm seriously, I got to do that.
Elsinore Brewery.
And
point.
Bridget, it wasn't. I forget the name of the movie, but Bridget would know one particular Bob and Doug McKenzie movie who starred favorite band of hers.
Oh, yeah. Rush.
Oh, yeah, the song Take Off.
Yeah. Which
that's I'm gonna catch flack from Bridget, but that's the only Rush song I like.
What movie was that?
I don't think that was from a movie.
No, that was from one of their albums that they released.
That was just a video that they did with Rush.
Wasn't it a Christmas special or something? No.
Nope.
No.
I remember they did a whole disc, and it was like it was Bob and Doug McKenzie with Rush, or was it Rush with Bob and Doug McKenzie?
No, it was Bob and Doug McKenzie. Geddy Lee was on there to do the song Take Off. They also did the 12 Days of Christmas. They also did a bunch of other skits on there too. There was
here we go.
The Art of Music with Beer Bottles. You Are Our Guest.
Good day. Geddy Lee is here from Rush. Bob McKenzie, this is my brother Doug. How's it going, Geddy?
Oh, it's going pretty good. Good day, eh?
Good day.
Okay, let's all right, let's stop it there so that we don't
before we get DMCA'd.
Make sure I've got a link so I can drop that in.
People, that's fair use.
Yeah, well, that much. So we'll link it.
You're providing commentary. It's very.
Another one. There was a movie that came out years ago. It was called. It was either Operation Canadian Bacon or just Canadian Bacon.
Canadian bacon.
Yeah, and it was
That was funny as hell.
Yeah, and what it was about America trying to basically incite or fabricate a war between themselves and Canada.
Like, you mean what's happening right now?
Well,
no. Trump isn't trying to fabricate.
But the twist is that every single actor who was supposed to be an American citizen
was
were all
Canadian.
Canadian actors. The president, Alan Alda. The two gun-toting rednecks, John Candy and Rhea Perlman.
Nice.
The border cop who who had to pull them over was Dan Aykroyd, which was hilarious because he stopped this truck that had a whole bunch of anti-Canadian slogans on it, and he was ready to give him a citation because they also weren't written in French. And just so you know, well, okay, I can't say that, like, largely because I live out west, and to us the whole compulsory bilingualism thing isn't quite as big a thing out here. I'm not sure how it is in Ontario. I know what it's like in Quebec, which is it's French first because you know,
they have the language SS there.
Language SS is
there
right.
is no and folks, there's no lie about that. There actually is in Quebec a language police force.
Yes, there is.
It
and they
sounds
go around with fucking rulers measuring the lettering on signs and stuff because the French is supposed to be a certain percentage bigger than the English.
I read something about in the northern Quebec, they got one of those. They got a bar called the Thirsty Boot. They got a visitor from one of those officers.
Nice.
So they changed the name to De Thirsty Boot.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's
I've got a thirsty boot. Where do you go to get it filled up? Das Boot.
Yeah, but that's I guess if you want to say if there is a black eye on so-called Canadian culture, it's that. They have whined and complained. They want it to be a distinct society. It's the only province where English is not the primary language, even though we're considered bilingual all over the place.
Yeah.
With them, it's French first. And they try to enforce it. They tried to actually secede a few years ago.
Twice.
Twice. There was the Meech Lake Accord. Then there was the actual.
We had two referendums.
Yeah, there was the final referendum where it was like, it was quite literally 51 to 49 to stay.
Yeah.
It was like that close.
That was in the early 90s, but I'm pretty sure there was another referendum in the 70s.
Oh, probably.
You know what's really funny is that
clowns.
It's so draconian. If you're in Ontario and you're going towards the Quebec border, at every crossroads, you're going to see stop. You're going to see a stop sign in Ontario.
Yep.
Once you get close to the border, it's going to be stop, and underneath it, it's arrêt. Across the border, it's going to be arrêt, and then stop, and then when you're all the way into Quebec, it's just arrêt. And I come over here to France. I come over here to France, and what do I see at every crossroads?
Stop.
Stop.
Wait a minute. I always thought those signs were Italian. Stop already.
Well, that's just the bilingual ones. Otherwise, it just says Areti.
I'll show myself out.
What?
I'm pretty sure corny dad jokes are pretty Canadian too.
Some of them.
I don't know. I mean,
others.
Well, and out here, we're getting ready. We're gearing up for the Calgary Stampede next week.
Yes.
Which is this is where everybody dusts off their old Roy Rogers outfits and gets to walk around wearing them and actually look like they're part of the celebration. Like it is quite. It's
pretend you're a cowboy day.
Well, it's pretend you're a cowboy week, but it's also one of the biggest purses on the national rodeo circuit. That's one of the big things.
Yeah.
I think
No.
my uncle was a clown in one of those.
Hey, kudos to him.
Yeah.
I've seen what rodeo clowns do. Sorry.
Yeah.
You'd have to be paying me about 3 times what a lumberjack makes for me to pull that off. Sorry, but
We still
Sorry,
don't
but
know
not
how,
sorry.
Yeah.
we still don't know how much a lumberjack makes. So
All right, so the census that I saw was averaged that they make anywhere, depending on how good they are, the contracts and everything else, that a lumberjack can make as little, at least this was 2015, so this is
Get on
about
with
3 years
it.
old. On the low end, $25,000 a year.
Eee.
High end, $51,000 a year.
ooh, wow.
And
That's
for
not very
anybody that
much.
was on that whole BS before, if they're still listening, yeah, I make more than that with my take-home pay.
Yeah.
So that means I
Why,
make
actually.
my income before everything's reduced is still higher than that too.
Yeah.
So
And it's kind of dangerous being a lumberjack, I'm
A
thinking.
little bit.
And that's
yeah.
that's kind of why I was thinking I thought they were making more, just considering hazard pay and stuff.
Well, like
Yeah,
I said, that's
apparently not.
2015, and it may also depend on what's considered hazard pay. It may be depending on the mountain or area that they're cutting down the trees, what kind of trees, what kind of equipment they have going on.
Now, is that in U.S. dollars?
That was U.S. dollars.
Okay.
Okay.
So, that's still a pretty respectable
said,
amount.
Like I said, that's just a consensus.
Yeah.
But since timing wise, we're actually closing in on the right amount of time, and for everybody that's listening at this point, I'm sorry for whatever butchering has to be done editing wise. I'm truly terribly sorry about that. But
All right.
it will be interesting.
yeah,
It happens.
I did make a link in the original show notes, which we'll have to go back to and try to figure out what's going to happen with that. The old I Am Canadian advertisement. And even though it's linked over in there, remember I was saying that comedy for Canada tends to not lowball it. They go ahead and they call it. For those of you that, for whatever reason, didn't click into the link for it, the I Am Canadian commercial, the original good one, was this. Let me do this right. Hey, I'm not a lumberjack or a fur trader, and I don't live in an igloo or eat blubber or own a dog sled. And I don't know Jimmy, Sally, or Susie from Canada, although I'm certain they're really, really nice. I have a prime minister, not a president. I speak English and French, not American, and I pronounce it about, not a boot, about. I can proudly sew my country's flag on my backpack. I believe in peacekeeping, not policing. Diversity, not assimilation. And that the beaver is a truly proud and noble animal. A toque is a hat, a Chesterfield is a couch, and it is pronounced Zed, not Z, Zed.
Zed.
Canada is the second largest landmass, the first nation of hockey, and the best part of North America. My name is Joe, and I am Canadian.
Whee!
Canada has every right to be proud for what it is. And I speak this as somebody who was able to see a lot of amazing things happen in my country. I got to see the moon landing. I got to see what civil rights was supposed to be doing. I got to see on First Run TV, MASH, All in the Family. I got to see biting, sarcastic humor on TV. I got to see my country try to switch over to the metric system from the imperial system and have it fall apart because of friggin' politics. I got to see one of my presidents resign in disgrace. I may see a second. When all is said and done, I got to see what should have been the beautiful social experiment of the great American melting pot turn into ugly crap that needs to be scraped off the side wall of the pot itself. And I've gotten to see Canada be what my country had the promise to be in so many ways. And I am so proud to look over the border and go, the dream ain't dead. It's just relocated. I don't know what the rest of you guys wanted to say to close off, but man, I am just proud that I can go over and visit some really, really nice people once in a while.
Your mentioning of the I Am Canadian commercial reminded me of an offshoot of that particular speech, and I found it, and I thought I'd let this one go because this one pokes a few holes in a distinctly American institution, and I think it's a fun jab. So, if you'll permit me, I actually cleared my throat. How about that? I'm not a Starfleet commander or TJ Hooker. I don't live on Starship NCC 170 or own a phaser. I don't know anybody named Bones, Sulu, or Spock. And no, I've never had green alien sex, but I'm sure it'd be quite an evening. I speak English and French, not Klingon. I drink Labatt's, not Romulan ale. And when someone says to me, live long and prosper, I seriously mean it when I say, get a life. My doctor's name is not McCoy, it's Ginsburg. And tribbles were puppets, not real animals, puppets. And when I speak, I never ever talk like every word is its own sentence. I live in California, but I was raised in Montreal. And I believe in Priceline.com, where you never have to pay full price for airline tickets, hotels, and car rentals. I've appeared on stage at Stratford, at Carnegie Hall, Albert Hall, and the Monkland Theater in NDG, whatever that is. And yes, I've gone where no man has gone before, but I was in Mexico and her father gave me permission. My name is William Shatner, and I am Canadian.
I kind of figured that was going to be the one.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get you in trouble for copyright, but also everyone needs to Google William Shatner sings "O Canada" because it is the best "O Canada" ever.
Yeah.
I'll have to go look that one up.
Yeah.
I will play it after we're off the air.
Yeah. But as far as, a lot of that goes, in recent years, like in the past, I would say 8 years, I've gone down to the States a lot, both for social visits and for business. And I feel for a lot of the people I've seen, a lot of people I've met, a lot of the friends I've made, largely because I know that the people who are in charge and the things that are being done and the things that other countries are saying about you guys, for the people I know, it's not their fault. It's not your fault. It's whatever happened, but I hope that through this is a wake-up call. You know, I've been hearing stories about the midterms, how things have been going, but it's not enough. You know, in 2020, it can't be more of the same just from the other side. We talked about this a couple of episodes. I think it was even last episode where, you know, well, they did it. And my response to that is, well, okay, so they did it, but from you, we expected better. And that is what has to happen in the next election cycle, is that it can't be just the other side. It has to be a side with the right purpose. They have to be better. Yeah. Shujin just said it best. Look, America, I'm your friend. This is an intervention. Cut it the fuck out. Because this is getting ridiculous.
And it's spreading up here. And anybody who wants to adopt a Ford, we have one to give away.
You know, back home we used to have like every 4 years we'd have an infestation of a particular type of caterpillar.
Yes.
We used to deal with it with blowtorches.
Oh yeah, boiling water. That worked really well too.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe to halt that particular infestation at the border, maybe some boiling water here, some Coleman's there. You know.
Oh, and by the way, Harper's coming to visit this week. We don't care if we get him back either.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You can keep that one too. Just stick him in the back, you know, build him a shed out back of the White House or something.
Now you get.
I wouldn't even subject him to that.
Now you get me to think about the pony parody thing about the shed. Nobody needs to. Seriously, don't go looking that up, people.
I don't even know what that is. So
trust me, it's.
I think in this particular case, ignorance will be bliss.
Yeah, it's nasty. It's nasty.
Oh, if anybody wants to have a Ford Nation reunion down there, go for it, please.
Look at the bright side. You can always chuck him across the water from Toronto and see if he skips across to our side. How's that?
Remember back in the day when a Ford Nation reunion just meant a whole bunch of guys with F-150s would get together, drink beer, and shoot guns?
Wouldn't that be
nice? Harmless fun.
Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, no, not so much anymore.
Yeah. So, anybody else got a last item to throw in here? Because
Bridget wrote one that she should tell us.
Yeah. It's gotten to the point now where Canadians need to build their own wall to protect themselves from us. It's really sad.
And make sure you send the bill to Trump.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll just build a snow fort.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Canada, on saving your national igloo.
Oh,
the only problem with building your own snow wall is humanity's doing a really great job on global climate change. That thing may not stay very much longer.
I can guarantee you most of it won't be snow. It'll probably be like gravel underneath, you know, like the excess gravel we use to sand our roads in the winter.
Yeah.
Oh, and in case you think, you know, if you think, oh, well, you know, our armored division will just roll over top of that. Okay, we have got, I hate saying this, but we've got basically Eskimos that live up north who, with an antiquated World War II rifle, can knock the balls off a mosquito at 50 yards with their eyes closed. You're not a threat. You're an obstacle.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, no, honestly, I saw this report on these Northern Rangers, and they gotta be, these guys make your Marines look like pussies.
Yeah, I'm thinking there may be a mass exodus from here, and I know that Canadians don't want us for good reason.
We want some of you.
But not everybody who wants to come up there. That's just too many people.
Yeah, well, we have room. I don't know how many of you are good at, you know, farming in Canadian Shield wilderness, but
they said
the population of Canada and spread it out evenly across all Canada, you couldn't even see your neighbor.
Nope. Not
Yeah,
even-
wouldn't that be cool? Talk about privacy.
Yeah,
But I'm
we-
sure there's a lot of room up
Green.
in Saskatchewan and Manitoba.
Yodeling will make a comeback.
I don't want to live where it's colder than where I am now, though.
Well, who says you have to move?
Okay, well, fair enough. I might move to Vancouver. I hear it's warm there.
Oh God,
Oh,
yeah,
but very expensive.
yeah. I was gonna say you better be ready to hit the poorhouse pretty quick.
Okay, well, I've never been. I don't know.
No, the cost of living in Vancouver is unbelievably astronomical.
Okay.
Why?
Just it's a popular place. You know, the climate's right.
because it can
employment-
be.
Yeah, employment's not bad there, but yeah, cost of living out there is extremely high. I've turned down jobs to go out west just because, yes, I'd be making an awful lot more money, but it would be eaten up by just trying to live there.
So, in other words, you'd be right about where you are, but
Well, where it was, yeah.
Right about-
Now I'm doing much better, but back then the offer just wasn't good enough.
I hear you. I hear you.
So we good, or we got anything?
Good.
All right.
Lots already.
Yeah. So we're for those of you that are listening, we're probably running about the right length of time, but we're actually ending later than we normally would. Our time. I freaking hate temporal mechanics. So thank you guys very much for hanging out with us in whatever form this ends up taking. We hope that you had yourself a fun time. We didn't even hit a couple of items that I would have loved to have talked further about, but I think this was definitely worthwhile.
Save it for the next show, eh?
Yeah, well, we'll
Necks are taking over anyway, so
kind of. So we'll see how this plays out. So let me thank everybody for being able to be here. I don't know what ended up happening with Joey, so on his behalf, thanks everybody for being here. And Joe, you take care of yourself. I'll be in touch, of course, because we got to figure out what's going on for next weekend. Joseph, thank you very much for your time, and have a great morning.
Oh, you
And
too, sir.
Good luck with all the projects, man.
All the projects. Yeah, well, yeah, projects. Yeah, I cast, let's say I cast a lot of lines out there. So just waiting for bites.
See what happens. No. Still, good luck, man.
Thanks.
Tech.
And
I'm awake.
Yeah, but only just barely, I'm sure, at this point.
I'm fading fast. I gotta go.
snoring yet.
So
Yeah,
you-
I haven't started snoring at all tonight. You know,
it's a good
I
sign.
gotta say, I got through it.
It's a good sign. You take good care of yourself, and you have yourself a safe 4th of July, would you please?
Yeah, me and a couple people are gonna get together and do some Pokemon stuff.
Fair enough.
Very
You
cool.
have a great time, man.
Mhm.
Bridget, you take good care of yourself too. Also, safe 4th of July, and thanks for being.
Oh, you're welcome. And just want to say that Heretic Woman is a horrible Canadian.
Yes, I am.
She doesn't like hockey. She doesn't like Rush. What is wrong with you?
Or the Tragically Hip or Beer Tim Hortons. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So what's up with that?
Yeah, I know. No, I'm not trading with an American. Sorry. That offer has been rescinded. You have to pry me out of here.
So, if anybody would like to read the musings of one Bridget Fitch,
You can find me at bridgetfitch2112.wordpress.com, or you
God.
can find me on Facebook.
you know, man, it's like pulling fucking teeth with you. Man, you live up to your name, you bitch, man, bitch, you bitch, whatever the hell. Heretic Woman. How about poutine? How about poutine?
No.
Poutine's good.
No.
Fine. Screw you too.
Cheese and fries, yes. No gravy.
All right, fine.
I
Thank you
told
for your
She sucks as a Canadian. Told you.
whatever. It's perfectly. Thank you very much for your time and putting up with all this crap at this point tonight.
Problem. Thought Tomorrow, tomorrow now, because it is Sunday now, we are going to be talking to Skylar Fiction on Beyond the Trailer Park, who recently interviewed the young pastor who believes that gay people should be humanely executed by the state. So that's fun. Yeah. So that's tomorrow, Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Beyond the Trailer Park. And you, of course, can also find me reading the Quran, so you don't have to, at fullquranic.com. I do have 2 new recordings in process. I just have to finish editing them. So it's coming. It's coming. I just so awful to read.
It's okay. I'm pretty sure that
there's more Moses.
Because they're always, Unread No Tech, I'm sure, is going to have probably one of the biggest laughs about this whole thing with me saying humanely. That you keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
It means exactly. Yeah, and this pastor, I forget his name, which is fine because he doesn't deserve any more notoriety, but he was also on my friend Steve and Kyle's Non Sequitur show not long ago, and he's just he's one of these like, well, that's just God's law. I don't necessarily want to kill people, but that's what God says.
Yeah, so it's the old SS line of I was just following orders.
Pretty much, yes.
For all these people, they say, if it wasn't for God, we'd all be rapists and murderers. For this guy, if it wasn't for God, it sounds like he'd actually be a decent human being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ass stink.
What worries me is the ones who only refuse to rape and murder because they believe in a God.
If that's the only thing holding them back, that's scary.
Yeah.
Those bastards need to believe in whatever the fuck they believe.
I commented on the troll. I said, if that's the only thing that keeps you from abusing other people, then by all means, please stay religious.
Yes, I saw that.
Yep, we've heard that one before too. Dallin, I am so sorry.
Did you kick him out of the channel?
No, I'm still here.
He's there.
No, it's just that whatever it is that you got to go through with all this, seriously, send me a bill. I will find something to send to you to say I'm sorry.
I'll take care of it. Shouldn't be a problem. I got to actually, I just got to put the finishing touches on that backlog of audio that I've got to get up to holycrapthevlogcast.com. So that people who like to do the podcast version of this can actually stay relatively current.
So you're going to have to get out your tube of YouTube glue.
Effectively.
Yeah, it's a good thing I went to the it's a good thing I went to Canadian Tire today to get some more, and I got more of that Canadian Tire money.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. I saw it coming. I saw it all the way from Piscataway, New Jersey.
By the
I
way,
saw it coming.
And then, of course, if any of you want to find out, what I really think of Shujin, you can catch me over at inthewind.wild5.ca.
And we affectionately actually call it Crappy Tire. You don't really call it Canadian Tire. It's Crappy Tire.
Oh.
It's okay. So, again, I'm terribly sorry with the way that this all played out. This is comedy of errors, such is life. And since my computer rebooted and it's been back on the mains, I'm finally up to 20% capacity on the battery. Somehow I get the funny feeling that the 750 watt power supply I've got in there may actually be sucking a lot more juice than I think sometimes.
Yeah.
Then again, I've also had this particular UPS model since about 2002.
It's time to swap out the battery in that thing.
No, the batteries have been swapped. It's
okay.
I'm sorry. This is the thing. Later.
Okay. Okay.
So all of you for hanging out with us, thank you very much. Hope that you found something worthwhile in all of it. Stephanie, thank you for also jumping ship a couple of times over to get over here. Take care of yourself, huh? We will put out word as far as to what's going to be happening for next week. At the way this is sounding, there will probably be a show. So you guys take very good care of yourselves. And
Don't forget to invite me.
no, don't worry about it.
Mhm.
I will be in Pittsburgh this weekend for Anthrocon with 6. Crap, how many people is it now? Roughly 7,000 close
Wow.
known personal friends. I forget what the actual numbers are, but when I started going, it was about $5,000, and I know that there are over 6. So
That's pretty
I'll be down.
impressive.
It is a lot of fun. It's gonna be nice to be touching base with family of choice again. If you end up seeing me on the news, I didn't do it. Please send bail money.
In Canadian Tire money?
You can try. I don't think that'll work.
We'll just send blocks of gold.
There you
Again, good luck with that. But
No, they sell them at airports now. There are actually a couple airports here in the United States, as well as in other parts of the world, that have a vending machine. Okay, and you put your credit card in it, and you actually get out these little tiny bits of gold, certified, quality, and everything else.
If I'm not mistaken, that's a means to take. You're only allowed a certain amount of cash money on a flight, and I think that's a way around that.
Usually $10,000 or less.
Well, you can actually buy just $100 worth of gold, which is a really thin, flat layer piece of gold, and they come in these little plastic cases, and they have a certified, where the gold came from, who certified the gold, and all the paper trail that you need. And for somebody who's looking for like a little piece of pure gold, that's actually not a bad way to do it. In fact, it actually makes it a lot easier to go about doing it, and it's being set at whatever the standard price is, rather than trying to haggle with somebody at a jewelry store.
fair enough.
Because I actually have a piece of silver, 1 full troy ounce of 0.999%. It's basically 99.999% pure. It's not, because there's no 100% certainty. There's minor impurities.
Ruining Shuzin's closing.
No. Sorry, but we can get you precious metals.
Yep.
Fair enough. We'll keep that in mind. So one way or another, we collectively will see you next week, even if I don't. But I'll be back. There's other stuff going on in the back of my head right now because it's July. But that'll be for later. Meanwhile, you all take care of yourselves. Happy Canada Day. Happy Independence Day. Happy Friendship Festival. And for those of you, and I will keep saying this every summer, for those of you that are going to be out on boats, please remember, if you're the captain of the vessel, you keep your head straight. If you're a guest, you keep your head straight. You want to get drunk on dry land, fall over, fine. You bump your head, who cares? You fall over the drink, the water will swallow you whole and never flinch. Keep that in mind. So you'll take very good care of yourselves. We will catch up with you again next week, one way or another, and we'll see what comes of it. But in the meantime, as always, I wish you all the peace I no longer have. I wish you the strength that I've learned. I wish you well. And until the next time we get together, as always, good night.